So there we are, my friends. We have all of the surrounding water around the ocean monument fully drained out. Welcome back, my friends, to the 21st episode of Pythoncraft. I hope you're all having a lovely day. And yeah, the only thing we have left to do now is to drain out the interior of the ocean monument itself, and of course to basically dig out this entire thing. And basically what's going to happen is we are going to have just a layer of prismarine just at the bottom, basically forming a big floor for our eventual base. And yes, today will be the episode we get all of that done. I just kind of decided, you know what, let's make one final gigantic push towards getting this thing done, and then we can start on the fun stuff, the creation of the Guardian Farm itself, and of course getting a whole bunch of base work done as well. I'm really excited for it, and I really do hope you folks are as well. So yeah, drop a like if all of that sounds like your cup of tea. I'd very much appreciate the support. Hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on my future content. And if you do want to go one further with your support, of course, consider checking out pythongb.com/PC if you're in the market for a brand new gaming PC. So then, I think the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna start at the top, we're gonna drain out the top room, we're gonna dig out the top room, and then we're basically gonna rinse and repeat that process with each of the subsequent layers. The unfortunate thing is you are capable of insta-mining prismarine, but that requires you to have an efficiency 5 pickaxe with a haste 2 beacon. We don't have beacons just yet in this series, my friends, so we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to be chopping this thing up manually, normally, slowly. The other unfortunate bit of news is you might notice I'm no longer wearing any shoes, and that's because during the course of that time-lapse, I actually lost my final pair of boots. They expired, so yeah, that's kind of bad, actually. I forgot to put mending on them, so I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes I'm just a big old doofus brain. Alright, let's grab out our sponges. And actually, do we have any boots in here? Depth Strider 2 by itself. That's kind of poo. However, with those booties, I think what might be a good idea is if we disenchant them, get ourselves a tiny bit of XP. So Unbreaking 3 is guaranteed, is it? Oh, it's always a risk going for Unbreaking 3 because if you get it by itself, then it's basically just a normal pair of shoes, just they last longer. Do I have any books? They're mending books. Ah, here we go. Generic books. Smite 4, Riptide, Fire Protection. What about this one? Flame. Yeah, it's not looking that great. Oh, Protection 3, that's not too bad. Oh, and look at this one. Protection 3 and Unbreaking 3. That could have actually gone on the existing pair of boots, and then we would have still had Depth Strider. Oh, I wish I checked this first. Alright, well, either way, what we can do is we could do a little bit of this, and then I recall seeing a Protection 3 book. Yep, there it is. So we chuck that on there, and look at... Oh, well, there goes the anvil, but look at that. We got ourselves Protection 4 and Breaking 3 now. That's alright. It's just sad that we don't have any form of Depth Strider or Feather Falling. That kind of sucks, but oh well. It's a good sort of base pair of boots, isn't it? It goes without saying, the further we get with this project, the more dangerous it is going to become. The lesser the amount of spawn spaces there are, the more condensed all of the spawns are going to be. Goes without saying, this is probably going to go from like 0 to 100 in a second when it comes to danger. Alright, so here we go. Yeah, God, I love the spongies. I love spongies. They work very well around here, don't they, my friends? Alright, so let's get that place down, and now we've just sort of got the center area to do. Maybe we chuck one just over here, and there we go. We've fully drained out the top section, which, let's be honest, was always going to be the easiest layer to do. So now what we do, hey, look at that, we still got some doors around here as well. But yeah, what we're now going to do is we're going to chop up these sponges, and we're going to chop up all of these blocks as well. We're going to get such a good supply of prismarine related blocks from digging out this monument. It's actually kind of nuts. Like, for example, look at this. We're getting ourselves a supply of dark prismarine, which has always been considered the most pain-in-the-butt type of prismarine to craft, because it requires ink sacks, doesn't it? But here we are, gathering a supply. just by chopping up this monument. Oh, I do love it. I genuinely can't wait until we have a Guardian farm set up. We're going to get so many things. Least of all, a very, very good source of XP. We're going to have easy access to these here sea lanterns. We're going to have easy access to prismarine, fish, which we can then trade to get ourselves a massive source of emeralds. There's just so many things, isn't there? It's brilliant. And honestly, I can't remember the last time I set up any kind of Guardian farm. Was it Python's World? I can't remember. Even when I did do it on Python's World, it wasn't like this super intricate version that I'm doing here. It was more so, I think, one of those ones where you had an AFK platform in the sky and you didn't actually drain out the monument. But yeah, we're going old school here, folks. We're draining this thing. We're going to get maximized rates. So then, enough dilly-dallying, enough chit-chat. Let's make some progress with this thing, shall we? All right, top layer dug out. The second layer is considerably larger. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a big old yikes, my friends. Any second now, I think we're going to wind up getting pulverized by Guardian beams. I mean, I hope we don't, of course, but judging by all of the Guardian sounds I'm hearing, I think it's only going to be a matter of time, my friends. Sponge time! Oh, snappers! Yeah, this is working out real nicely, my friends. I managed to dig out, like, a segregated room here. And as a result, there we are. Yet another room drained. Yeah. Oh, good grief. Here we are with the Guardians, my friends. Oh, gee whiz. Okay, so, yeah, beams everywhere. Beams literally everywhere. This is going to be such a pain, isn't it? But it's going to be worth it. Just keep telling yourself that, Python. Check it out. Another level drain. Now we've got to go through and chop everything up. And am I the only one who thinks it's kind of cool seeing how these ocean monuments look as you continue to dig up each layer? I think it's really awesome. Like, for example, on this sort of second to last layer at the top, you got yourself what is essentially 6 rooms. I mean, this one is like a double room, so I'm counting that as 2. And then you've got a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Anyway, it's back to the choppity chop. Let's get this layer dug out, shall we? Blimey. So just those top 2 layers alone have been enough to fill up a shulker box. Yikes. Wow, I'm going to get way more prismarine from digging this thing out than I first thought. A hell of a lot more, in fact. Only we're now about to start digging up the very, very, very large layers. We have the second to last bottom layer and then the bottom layer itself. Whoa. I'm very glad that we went for that end raiding trip a few episodes back. I'm very glad, for example, that I now have a full ender chest full of shulker boxes. Oh, that's going to make this process so much easier. You know what? There's a far safer way to do this whole monument chopping thing. What do we think? Is it time for some more invis potions? I think so. And now we play the waiting game. It's going to take a fair while to get all these potions brewed up, but believe me, it is going to be worth it to be invisible to the Guardians. Being invisible to the Guardians eradicates one problem, but leaves another, in that the Guardians will still be there. However, being invisible means that even when we decide to take each of the Guardians down to empty the place out, it won't be too bad, because they won't fight back. Alrighty, my friends, if we're going invis mode, we also need to go no armor, no shield mode. You can still have Elytra on, and you can still have an item held in your hand, and you will still be classed as invisible to hostile mobs. So, let's drink ourselves a potion. I'm going to bring on my camera account, and we're going to do the final 2 layers in the form of a big, big time lapse. Let's do this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The Ocean Monument is no more. Well, aside from a couple of little bits and bobs around the edge, there's some areas around the edge here that sort of go under. And that is, of course, because we have purposely left a 3-block water gap between the very edge of the monument and sort of this inner wall here. So, yeah, we're going to wind up doing something with this eventually. But, yeah, for now, yeah, the vast majority of the monument is now gone. I've replaced the floor entirely with prismarine, added a little bit of a prismarine brick border, and I've got myself some dark prismarine in the center here. This is the exact center. It's basically directly beneath where that dirt centerpiece is up there. And how about this for good timing? We're actually on our very, very final firework rocket as well. So I can get myself out of here, but if I come back down here, then I won't be able to get out, just flat out, which is kind of silly, but hey-ho, what are you going to do, eh? Make a firework factory? Yeah, I will. Soon. Eventually. I promise. Seems to be an ongoing meme at this point, doesn't it? Make a fireworks factory or a creeper farm. We just haven't done it yet because I'm lazy. In the meantime, though, check this out. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, but 5 shulker boxes full of prismarine-related materials, including a grand total of a stack and a half sea lanterns, which is kind of nice. We've got ourselves a good few stacks of dark prismarine as well, which is absolutely beautiful. And then all of this stuff here is stuff that we used in the process of getting this monument done and dusted. So yeah, I'm very excited to get this thing finally started. Make ourselves a guardian farm, have them all funnel into this centerpiece area, into a 2x2 drop kill chamber thingy, and then we slap them around with a saw, we get ourselves a whole bunch of fish and prismarine shards and crystals and all that kind of beautiful stuff. And oh man, it's going to be so fantastic. I'm so looking forward to it. So on that note, and I'm very much aware that this has been a very, very short episode, we are going to wrap it up for today. This has still been well over a 4-hour Minecraft recording, and I wanted to get this video out to you guys on time today. So yeah, here we are. I'm not about to artificially extend the episode just so we can have it be a certain length. So yeah, we're going to wrap things up, and then when I come back in the next episode, we're going to be nicely refreshed and feeling ready to get on with the Guardian Farm itself. So, without further ado, we have ourselves a couple of shout-outs to give. First of all, to a couple of beautiful folks here for their donos. We've got Toasted Toad with the $10 dono since the last episode. And we've also got King B1763 with the 14 South African Rand. Thank you so much for that, you two. I really, really do appreciate the support. It really does go a long, long way. And finally, of course, the comment of the day. James Robinson comes in with a nice simple question. Hi Python, what are your thoughts on a ghast farm? Do you know what? That is actually a farm I have never ever made. And if I'm honest, I think the reason behind why I haven't done it is because on a single player world, how many things are you really going to wind up using ghast tears for? But then, when you really start to think about it, there's actually a decent amount. For example, you can use ghast tears in the creation of end crystals, and not only will they be useful to summon in the ender dragon again, but you could also probably use them for netherite mining, perhaps, as a replacement for TNT. You can use ghast tears also for making regeneration potions, but with that said, you can get regeneration potions quite easily, I think, from ancient cities, right? So, yeah, maybe that's not really overly much of a priority. Of course, if you guys can think of any other reasons why you might want to have a bulk of ghast tears, then let me know in the comments area down below. Either way, it would be kind of cool for us to give it a go at the very least. I mean, recently, in a Skyblock episode, we made ourselves a rudimentary gold farm, and we were trying to make it to the point, unsuccessfully might I add, we tried to make it to the point where it was ghast proof, as in no ghasts could spawn in. Turns out ghasts require a 4-block high gap to spawn on in. So, yeah, I don't know, with that knowledge under the belt, maybe we could make a ghast farm. I'm not going to promise anything anytime soon, but yeah, certainly in the future, if I get stranded for ideas, maybe a ghast tier farm could be a cool way to go. Or do you know what? You can also get gunpowder from ghasts, can't you? I mean, it's never going to be as much as, say, if you were to make a creeper farm, but yeah, you know, it's always nice to have alternate sources of gunpowder, right? So yeah, appreciate the suggestion there, buddy. Hopefully that's answered your question. For now, though, my friends, it is time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed today's episode and the 2 gigantic time lapses we've done today. First one, draining out the final quarter, and the second one, the far, far larger one, digging out and draining out the vast majority of the monument itself. So yeah, get hyped for the next episode, my friends, because next episode we will indeed be working on the Guardian farm itself. I'm very, very excited, if not a little bit nervous. Only as I mentioned earlier, the less and less amount of spawn spaces there are, the more condensed the Guardians are going to be. So yeah, there's probably going to be quite a lot of Guardians in the surrounding water ring, isn't there? But hey-ho, that's something I'm sure Invis Potions can take care of. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, my friends. Thanks for all of your lovely support, and I shall see you folks in the next episode.